All right, D&D enthusiasts, we're plugging in as the Dungeon Master here, looking at a couple of adventure ideas, looking at some different options for our next game or with our gaming group. And for many of us that have a regular, steady gaming group, whether you're meeting once a week or every other week, there's this idea of campaign play. And campaign play is defined a bunch of adventure modules linked together with a bigger story. Or campaign play, even if you're pulling individual modules, has this idea the players are going to start often, but not always, level 1. And then literally over the course of months, level 2, level 3, 5, 8, 10, 12, and you're going to advance. And this is very rewarding because not only do you get to play a bunch of different adventures, but literally you are leveling up as you go. You are leveling up and watching your character grow in power and scope. But there are times where you want to run what's called a one-off adventure. It's not connected to anything. It's going to be completely separate, and you want to pull in a bunch of players to play it. An example of this might be, I have a regular D&D gaming group that I play with, but I also have friends that, well, we've been playing D&D for a long time. Sometimes they're a part of the group, then through work and other responsibilities, they have to drop out for a bit. A few players float back and forth. But there's probably about 7 or 8 players. We've been playing D&D for years and years and years. But we're at different places and points in our life. So as a group, we can only get together 2-3 times a year to play. And I really value those times we play. Getting together, we'll take turns running a single adventure. This could be an adventure that we like, pulling off the shelf. I mean, for me, it's usually something to do with Kryn. But running a one-off adventure, getting people together to play, the advice I would give for that is consider starting, if we're looking at D&D, consider starting level 5, level 6, level 8, depending what version of D&D that you're playing. Slight variance there. Starting at the mid-level, well, first of all, it opens up a lot of different adventure ideas, not just beating on orcs and goblins. Not that there's anything wrong with beating on orcs and goblins. You can get very creative with their use. But with that, it allows you as a DM to play some adventures with some good diversity, some good challenges, and decent monster challenge ratings. But the players aren't so overpowered where when you get to levels 10 and higher, 10 to 13, now the players become very powerful. It requires a different type of adventure, one that might not be well suited for, hey, let's just get together for 4 or 5 hours, roll some dice, and have some fun. So bringing those characters in at those levels and playing an adventure. As a DM, what I like to do ahead of time is say, okay, you're going to come in at 6th level. Here's your point buy for the attributes. And here's a big fat bag of gold, just a massive sack of gold, appropriate for challenge rating and for the character class, where they would be if it was part of a campaign. And just to make it easy, look, there's your gold piece limit. No sharing with other characters. Buy whatever you want, whatever gear, whatever magic items, just whatever you want. Have your character fully stocked, ready to go to jump into the adventure. And you're not going to level up. You're not going to get experience points. This is literally just build an adventure, build a character to play for this scenario. Now, what I would recommend in picking the adventure, you have to want to play it as a DM. I like to play adventures with a little more action, a little more risk. Because on the one hand, character death is not going to be as bad. I mean, nobody wants to die on any adventure, let alone, the first hour in. But because these aren't characters that you've played for months and months and months, and if you're coming in at level 6, you might have 2.5 months of play, 3 months of play under your belt. That's, death can really, really sting. It can really, really hurt or change the game. Because this is just a one-off, and that's not to say you're going to be reckless with your character or not care. We can be a little more aggressive. We can be a little more dynamic. We can try to experiment with some different monsters. As I'm looking through adventures, or in this case, writing my own, I want to push it a little bit. I want to push the envelope a little bit. And I can, because it's a one-off adventure. Now, even if you're part of a regular gaming group and you meet every week or every other week, it's still possible every now and then to run a one-off adventure. Maybe you're working on some notes or some cross-pollination with another group and you want to try something out. And just to say, hey, guys, next adventure session, we're just going to pause for a second. I'd love to try an adventure idea with you and not have it impact the campaign. So let's roll up some characters. I mean, these two ideas of play are very distinct and very important. And as a DM, it's worth expanding and experiencing both of them, in my opinion.